Welcome back everybody, Apollo Martz here, the owner of the Alchemist Club, and today in this second video we're going to be talking about the anatomy of cold DMs and how to get your DMs open. Getting your DMs open is simple. You already know that, you have the opener, but that's not where the battle begins. The battle begins after they open that DM, when they make the move, not when you make the move. And by now you may have a few questions. For example, what do you do after you send that first DM? How do you carry the conversation? How do you read the conversation? And when and how you need to move from talking to pitching. And that's a crucial one. And luckily for you, I have an answer for the four of them. So let's start with the basics. Let's start with the mindset. And the mindset you need to have is be prepared for rejection, because that's it. You're doing cold DMs, you're going for volume, you're not getting inbounds. So since you're doing the approach, you're not the authority, and you are going to be seeing this in the third video. You're not the one that has the mic right now, so be prepared for rejection. And that's why your goal is to hit the reps and not to judge them. When you judge the reps, you're not going to be giving your best results, and micromanaging them is going to cause you anxiety. And you don't want to have anxiety as your partner here. It's not going to help you at all. So what do you do after sending the first DM? And the answer is simple again, nothing, literally nothing. Because after you send your first DM, that lead is dead. I mean, you did all you could do at that moment. You're not going to be sending another one like, I'm bumping this up, or, hey, did you see the message? Because you become desperate. They already know that you're desperate. Even if I didn't see the message, don't care about it. Think like it doesn't exist, because the more messages you send, more likely you're going to be here in this second box as someone that's trying to sell them something, or you are desperate to get in contact with them for XYZ reason. So you just send the DM and that's it. Because when you're doing cold DMs, you need to keep in mind that you're doing a shotgun approach, not a sniper approach. You're going for volume. Since you're going for volume, if you start micromanaging every single message, every single conversation, you're going to go insane. So don't let that be your partner. And the mindset, as I mentioned here, is it's already lost. Let's see if they prove me wrong. That's a good mindset to have, because most of the times, even though if you have a good opener, it depends. Maybe there are other areas that might be lacking, that you cannot be getting answers or replies for them. That's not for me to cover. I'm covering the mindset that you need to have, covering the fundamentals, the framework, the principles that you need to apply in the conversations. That's for another day, but remember this, it's important that you don't judge your reps. Do the reps, that's all that matters. If you do the reps long enough, you're going to see results, okay? And of course, this principle applies for bulk DMs and for manual DMs, okay? If you're sending them, or if you have someone, you're only allowed to judge them after you finish. And what do I mean by finish? If you are doing manual DMs, let's say you hit, I don't know, your goal is 100 DMs per day, judge them in 2 weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks, 10 to 15 days, a good amount of time to judge them, like your performance, if you need to tweak a few things here and there. And if you're doing in bulk, then weekly. Your weekly quota is going to reflect those results better. So, congratulations, they reply. So how do you carry the conversation? What do I do right now? Do I panic? Not at all. And here it's important, and I want to make this comment here. You can be happy, but don't celebrate just yet. Why? Because you don't know why they reply to you. And this is important. You cannot ask them why they reply to you. You need to assume why they reply to you. And those assumptions could be they felt special, they're interested in you, they were liking attention, they had a bad day and you shed a light, they might have replied because they like your message. You don't know, but you cannot ask them. So you need to figure out why, and you're going to see how below. But this is where the game really starts. They just told you subconsciously that they want to have a conversation. You don't know why they want to have that conversation. You don't know the reason behind it, but at least you can have a decent conversation. And you're going to be seeing the 3 levels that you need to measure down below. To figure out that reason, that's going to be what I'm going to be covering. And right now it's something that you need to do is start caring a little bit more about them, and you need to do a little bit of research. So let's say you are on Instagram, scroll through their posts, see what they like, what they don't like, have at least a little bit of an understanding of who is this person, what this person likes, what this person do, his routine, whatever you might find that you think is useful, and then you can connect to your offer or whatever you're selling. It's going to be helpful because it's going to help you carry the conversation, okay? And this topic, you're going to be using first this topic, and then you're going to have a few topics in the burner, but I'm going to cover that later. But it's important that you do a little bit of research. You cannot go raw here and like, whatever, let me freestyle whatever. No, because that's not going to work. So first, let's go to how to read the conversation. How do you measure the commitment? And this is important because you have three types of replies. You're going to have a cold reply, a warm with a question mark, and a warm reply. A cold reply is something like thanks. Most likely they are not interested, they're just polite with you, they're just replying because you took the time to send a message. But that doesn't mean you don't need to reply to them. You're going to be covering that down. The second type of replies is a thanks, Apollo, appreciate. It's a little bit of doubt because you don't know if they were a little bit more polite or they were interested but a little bit shy, so they didn't want to pursue a little bit more in the conversation. I mean, when you're meeting someone new, you don't go like, hey bro, thank you so much. You can go like that, and that's the warm type of answer, like, yo bro, thanks for the words, you have some dope content as well, yada yada yada, because they are interested and they don't mind telling you that subconsciously. But most of the people are going to be either in the warm or in the cold area. And these are the three levels, as already mentioned, the cold, the warm with a question mark, and the warm. And this is the rule of thumb that I mentioned. You need to reply to all of them. Ignore the fact of how they reply to you. This works the same as objections. When you receive an objection with someone, that first objection tends to be it tends to be fake, I would say, because most likely they don't mean that. They're trying to use that to move on with their day. I mean, when they tell you, yeah, I'm busy or whatever, just an automatic response from the subconscious mind. They don't mean that, so ignore that. Keep asking questions. Keep pretending like that didn't happen. And then after that, yes, you need to measure, because if I keep telling you thanks, yes, no, you already know that that person is not interested on having that conversation with you, so move on. There's more leads out there. There's plenty of fish on the sea, and your time is more worth and more valuable if you keep sending more messages that keep battling with this person that already box you in, let's say in the sales type of box, or on a box that they don't want to have a conversation. It's going to be harder for you to convince them to have a conversation than to find another lead that maybe in the warm or maybe one with a question mark. So just move on. The colds, they're going to ghost you. That's a fact. That's why you need to follow up to one time here. You measure after the first reply if they're following the same guy, like thanks, yes, no, just move on. They don't want to talk with you, find another fish. The ones with the question mark is a hit or miss, and that's why I recommend 2 follow-ups here. And every single time you receive the first few messages, think of it as if you were like you have sparks and you try to turn that fire pit, that bonfire. So if you didn't manage to make it happen in the first few, then it's not going to happen. But after, you know that when something clicks, then the conversation starts flowing. Okay, you have a few messages going back and forth. You cannot go forever into that, but use this scale until that conversation actually starts or it's actually dead. So use this as your compass, if you like to call it like that, to find your north. So if you're getting to the south, and you don't find a way to go to the north, then just leave the conversation and move on to another. Your time is better spent on finding new people that really wants to talk with you than convincing those that don't want to talk with you. Okay? And the worms is most likely a match, and with them it's going to be a little more easy for you to have a conversation. The first 3 messages, you're going to be having a conversation. You're not going to be trying to move around those things. So that's why I gave you this to measure, because maybe you're spending a lot of time with cold replies or warms. They're not yet moving to warms, so maybe those keep in the back end and move on to the ones that actually want to have a conversation. replying to the message. This is important because this is going to define the entire conversation. I mean, everybody can go to a door, knock it. Yeah, someone is going to open, okay? But what do? You just give them a reply to that. But what are you going to do? That's what defines the conversation, because it's like, hello, miss, yes, I'm trying to... They're like, that's trying to send me something. No, bye, boom. They close the door. I mean, and you don't want that. I mean, if you already took the time to send a message, or you already took the time to vote them, to send them to your leads, I mean, why lose the time with that? So it's important for you to don't fuck it up here. Since you're using cold DMs, I'm assuming that you didn't have prior interaction with this user hub. You're going to answer the question they already have in their mind. Okay, what is it trying to sell me? And this is again a conversation with their subconscious. And here I'm making a quick side note. They already box you in as a friend, but that doesn't mean you don't want to sell them something. You're still a stranger for them. Since you're a stranger for them, they don't know. They're like, yeah, let me try to find reasons why this person is a friend. But they're like this. They're like, maybe they're trying to sell me something. So if you give them a few hints that you are trying to sell them something, if they get a little bit suspicious about it, maybe they flip you over. Even though if you're in the box, they don't know you yet. So since they cannot say to themselves, yeah, I know this person, maybe they can flip you. So to the other box, that's important for you in this case to know what you do after, what you message them exactly, so you are 100% in the box of, yes, this person wants to have a conversation with me, and that's it. So to let their guard down and actually box you in the box that you want, you need to send the post you did research about. Do you remember that I told you to start caring about them, that part on the top? So you know a little bit more about them, what they do, their routine, what they're up to. Okay. So you're going to be like, John, what do you mean by X in that post? And this is important. It sounds, again, so simple because this system thrives on simplicity. And because an open-ended question are going to be your allies. It's going to be your best way to measure their intention. The more words they write, the warmer they are. This is an important rule for you to have. And the only way to have more words if you ask an open-ended question. If I tell you, can you describe me your day? You can go, it was a good day. Great. Great is going to be cold. It was a good day, thanks. That's warm. Then, oh, today was a wonderful day. I started doing by this, then I did this, that. Then the more the more words they add, the warmer they are. And that gives you more material to work with because you're going to be learning the method, the TAM method that I'm going to be covering in the next video, how you're going to use that to connect and then go to your pitch. It's important for you to ask open-ended questions as much as you can, and because they keep the conversation going, it's easier. And if you ask someone, is it sunny today? Yes. What are you going to ask them after that? Do you like summer? Yes. And then that's it. Like, that's the conversation. But instead, if you ask them, I don't suggest asking this, but which season do you like the most? I would say summer. And what do you think summer is? What do you hate about, I don't know, spring? Or what do you hate about winter? And they're going to say, oh, winter is about this, and that. They're going to give you more material to work with, and you don't even ask them. So that's why open-ended questions is your best ally, and what you need to ask the most, okay? And again, a reminder, you're talking to the subconscious mind, therefore you need to play this game in order to target it. That's important. The open-ended questions target the subconscious mind. So this is a crucial one. When and how to move from talking to pitching, because let's face it, you can be talking with them forever, but you can pitch them the right away. I mean, you can be talking with them forever, but they're going to friend-zone you. And after a few messages, they're going to be like, yeah, friend-zone, bye. And you don't want that because when you're in the friend-zone, I mean, it's pretty tough to get out of it. So before they box you in as a friend, definitely, and put you in the friend-zone, you rather make that jump to selling them something. But you cannot go ask them like, do you want to marry me? Like the first message, because you're going to get blocked or maybe slapped if you're in person. That's why you need to strike a balance. And this is something I'm going to be covering in the thread along method or the TAM method. If you pick a topic that's related to the solution you provide, you just need to keep asking them follow-up questions and slowly transition to your pitch. If you know how to do it with the method, it's going to be easy. And the pitch, that's I'm going to give you here like a quick introduction to the method that I'm not going to be covering. The pitch should always be soft, not hard. You don't need to use like a yes or no question, more like kind of like an open-ended question to make it a little bit soft. Because I need to think they are catching up with a friend and not they're talking with someone that's desperate to make a quick buck. So if they sense, not in your voice, but in your tone, that you are like a little bit in a rush, that you want to make that it really matters to you, the money, then if they sense that, yeah, you just want the outcome, most likely they're going to reject you and all the work that you did was for nothing. So might as well be a little bit more in the soft side here than in the hard side. And that's why ideally you need to send 2 to 3 unrelated icebreakers before making the transition to the soft pitch. And I'm going to be covering that in the thread along method. That's the third video. But that's for it. So you have a little bit, at least an idea of what is that about. And so every time I mention the method, you're not like, oh, what's the method about? Another question that you might have is, which platform should I use? And for that, I don't have an answer, to be honest, because it depends on where your leads are hanging. I mean, if they're on TikTok, go to TikTok. If they're on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn. If they're on X, go to X. If they're on IG, Facebook. I mean, if they hang on I don't know, MySpace, is that a thing? But if they're here, go there. I mean, I don't know. I cannot answer that because that depends on where they're hanging. This is just the principles, the fundamentals, and the frameworks, the same as I mentioned you in the first video. This video is that about, okay? So what you can do with that is plug and play. You learn this and you use this in every single conversation, not just in the DMs, but when you're having conversations with people, like one-on-one in person, you can use this as well. You're going to be using it subconsciously in the future when you learn it, but in the beginning you're going to be like thinking, oh, it's like this, it's like that. But the question that I may have, does this work in every single platform? Yes. Why? Because every single platform is based on human psychology, and every single platform is, even though they have bots, is human based. So if social media platforms stop having humans and they're having bots, I don't know if it's going to work, but up to the point that they keep having humans, there's going to work. So that's it for the second video. This is again one of the modules that I cover with my clients inside the Alchemist Club. In case you're interested about it, you can go to thealchemist.club or send me a DM over X at ApolloMarts and I can walk you through what I do. And that's it. Thanks for watching.